Deadly coronavirus, it's showing no sign of fading this morning. There are now at least 60 confirmed coronavirus cases right here in the United States.
Well, the big story we're following this morning is the first cases of coronavirus found on both sides of the state line.
And if the last 48 hours in developments have shown us anything, it's that the coronavirus situation is changing very
All right, well, spring break is over, but kids are still at home. Teachers, parents, and kids all across our area are figuring out a new normal.
All across the United States, school buildings sit empty. More than half of the country's students have been sent home.
KCPS also announced it's canceling school tomorrow out of an abundance of caution.
Well, I mean, we had no idea what we were supposed to do. Only knew what we could do.
Ready?
Hello everyone, welcome back to the MINDDRIVE Wednesday night live stream.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure all of them work except for the pumpkin. I think that was London's.
Where did that idea come from, the VR booth?
So actually this project.
Remember, you're driving on your radio with your right stick, right? Mm-hmm.
All right. Here we are, live tonight, Tuesday night, December 22nd. Welcome to the Still Rising, the 2020 experience, brought to you by MINDDRIVE, where we are going to recap, kind of what happened to us this year and focus on sort of how we addressed the challenges that we faced and kind of share with you all of the things that we came up against and how we chose to solve the problems that a crazy banana year kind of gave us. So let me introduce my co-host tonight. Brittany, if you wouldn't mind going first.
Hi. Hi, guys. It's nice to see you all. I'm Brittany. Obviously, most of you all know that.
Damon.
Hey, I'm Damon.
Man of many words.
Yes. Yes.
You wouldn't stop talking 5 minutes ago. Where was that, Damon?
Got butterflies.
So here we are. We just watched the recap video. Kind of took us a little back down memory lane, right? March happened to us. Kids went home for spring break, didn't come back. And I know that all of us were really concerned about what the future had in store, what it looked like, what were we going to be able to continue to do what it is we do. I know I speak for myself. I'll speak only for myself when I say that it really took me too long to get my head around the reality that we were in and what the new world was like, that things were different and everything that we had been working for, all of the competitions were not going to happen. And we had to go all the way back to the drawing board and try and determine what is MINDDRIVE at its core? What is it, right? What were you guys thinking back then in March when everything shut down? I know, Damon, you were somewhere else, but you were still a MINDDRIVE mentor at that time, and I know you probably thought about this place when everything shut down. But Brittany, what were you thinking when everything shut down?
I don't know. I mean, I definitely remember thinking that it was not going to be this long. I remember thinking oh, well, we're going to have a month off to just chill at home and then it's been months since I've seen most of our students and most of our mentors. So it was definitely like hard at the beginning, but I think I've adjusted pretty well, and it's kind of a new normal, and we're just going day by day.
Damon, what about you? What were you thinking when everything shut down?
At first, I honestly didn't believe it. I was like, this is probably only gonna last like maybe a few months, or I was kind of in denial about it until after the original like shutdown didn't end. Then I was like, okay, like you know,
Just kept going, and I think that
exactly.
was the issue, right? It was like one day turned into a week, that turned into 4 weeks, which turned into 2 months, and I don't know. I feel like when we just made the decision, when governments made the decision to shut things down, that's the long play, the long game, and that wasn't going to be. I think if we were smart in thinking about it, we would have realized that we weren't going to be back to normal in 2 weeks or 2 months. So, but we finally, I think we took some time. We thought about, what does it mean? What is MINDDRIVE? What is it? How, everything that we were about was predicated on being in the same room with someone, right? So what does that look like? What does MINDDRIVE look like when you have to interact through people virtually and with people virtually? So we looked around. We were looking for a solution. I assumed it was 2020, right? Damon, you're into games. I assumed it was 2020. There had to be some kind of application or computer game or some environment where we could have 50, 75, 100 people, because that's, we have a lot of folks who could all meet up and do something more interesting than Zoom, right? And so we looked at Minecraft right off the back, but it had a paywall, and to do what we wanted to do, we knew everybody'd have to have a PC or a MacBook, but really a PC. So then we went looking for something else, and long story short, we came back to Minecraft, and we made the decision. And Mike Enos, our executive director, was willing enough and brave enough to see the vision and go out and do the work necessary to help us get the funds we needed to secure enough laptops to get them out to our students, right? So that we could do this thing. And for 3 or 4 weeks there, Brittany, was all we were doing was distributing laptops. Well, actually, we started up. What was the first thing we started off doing? Right, we called all of our mentors, right, and students to check in, see how they were doing, see if they had what they needed. And what did you find?
Well, I think a lot of our students were doing pretty well. There was some cases where most people were just like anxious, or I mean, it was something that we had never gone through, so definitely scary, and just like not knowing what was going to happen. But yeah, I mean, like, as we went on and tried, to get these laptops out to people, it was a good haul for a couple of weeks of just getting stuff, like trying to get stuff ready, trying to get them out there, and trying to get people what they needed.
Yeah, and so we decided to. One thing we could do at the time was, when you were looking around for information on what was happening in the world, there was like, a few places where you could go, and all the information was basically the same, coming from the same place. And we saw an opportunity to maybe give our community a chance to share what was happening to them and how they saw it and how it looked and felt and smelled like to them, right? So we started a series called Voices from Quarantine, where we interviewed 30, 40 mentors and students and parents, and cut the videos together and published them on YouTube. And lo and behold, got the attention of KCTV5, which ran a nice little news story about that specific project, which was selfishly for me was very nice, because it was very therapeutic for me to be able to talk to that many people and share, like, have them share what they're going through, and see the similarities and realize that there's a lot of commonalities out there, right? So I don't know if everybody's had a chance to see that news story. I'm not sure how many people watch local news these days, but at least, a lot of our students and followers probably consume their content other ways. So I thought we'd jump into that real quick. It's a short little newscast, so we're going to check out that KCTV5 news story that ran about MINDDRIVE back in April or May, I think.
Online learning has been a challenge for a number of families, especially with technical problems. One local organization reached out to those families to document what life has been like in these last few weeks. New at 10, KCTV5's Nathan Vickers explains.
A chorus of voices.
It's kind of difficult since we're all quarantined and we have to stay with each other for a lot of weeks.
Many faces.
This is new and it's scary.
Stories from people experiencing these past few weeks differently.
My biggest concern with the crisis going on would be graduating.
These videos represent a snapshot of life for a group of students, parents, and mentors who are part of a larger family.
Sharing their hopes and their dreams and their fears and their concerns.
A family Mike Enos normally sees every day at MINDDRIVE.
These are the projects that we work on.
It's a program where urban teens can build with their hands, teaming up on tech challenges like fabricating and assembling electric cars, learning skills for tomorrow's job market.
All the electronics were built and coded by high school kids.
And for Oz Qureshi and others who work with MINDDRIVE families, tech is only part of the equation.
One of the things that we do through our projects is lift young people up and build their confidence.
But like many educational programs, MINDDRIVE's projects have been upended by a crisis.
And so much of what we do is predicated on being in the same room as someone else.
Their cars are half finished. And while some remote lessons, like Minecraft design projects, have been useful,
here we have our shop.
It's not the same.
You can't teach someone how to weld on Zoom.
Many of the students they work with also face technical challenges.
In this environment, we're trying to figure out how we can continue to engage students working together to complete projects.
And one idea started with a simple question.
When the shutdown initially took place, we immediately started reaching out to all of our students, their families, to find out how they were.
That's when they realized.
Some are doing great, some are struggling.
These are voices that need to be shared.
Those populations can get lost, and we want to make sure that their stories aren't lost.
It's been hard.
Stories like Ebony Perkins.
It's been an adjustment, but trust me, we're going to get through it.
She's the mother of a MINDDRIVE student who currently works in an area nursing home, a high-risk job right now.
MINDDRIVE was an outlet. MINDDRIVE boosted feelings of self-esteem.
Right now, her family feels disconnected from their community.
Struggle to hear how the numbers were increasing, and then just a lot of these kids had to adapt to online learning. You know, it was something that was thrown at them.
Even young people seem aware of the struggles.
I have a friend whose parents' job has been affected by it, and my grandma will be getting laid off next week, so we'll see how that goes.
They're aware of the people on the front lines.
The people out there that are still working because they are forced to. I just hope they are able to stay safe.
Common thread is not, oh, what about me? It's about a community.
The MINDDRIVE community is still trying to help young people grow.
It's about us rising up to support one another.
Carbon fiber.
Even if their projects have changed, one day these stories, these voices, will come together once again. In Kansas City, Nathan Vickers, KCTV5 News.
MINDDRIVE is also holding a small graduation parade and ceremony at Liberty Memorial. You can find the videos that their students made on kctv5.com and on our free news app.
Okay, I don't know if you guys have had a chance to see that clip. Have you guys seen that clip?
Yeah, I have.
What's something that was your first time? What was something that stood out to you?
Definitely, like, I don't know, it seemed like they're a lot more hopeful.
Man, I was like, no mask.
Yeah,
no
mask. That too.
We're inside, no mask. Man, things change, right? So that was wild. And then, you know, seeing Kevin and some of the other students that graduated, shout out to them. And huge shout out to Ebony Tolbert and Leland. She's so great, man. She's gonna miss her, Miss Ebony. She's one of those parents, and we have several parents that are just amazing. And she's one of those moms that she's so inspiring the way she advocates for her kids. Huge shout out to Ebony. So then after that, we launched our Minecraft server after school, right? Brittany, you remember where we started?
Would you repeat that again? I'm sorry.
Is someone trying to reach us on Discord? Is that what's happening right now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Brittany's pulling double duty tonight. She's monitoring Discord. We're hoping to have some student guests on later in the show. So she's as always wearing many hats. But we launched our Minecraft server, and we didn't start in Java. Where did we start?
We started on Bedrock. Yeah. That was quite a. It was just our testing ground, basically. You know, there was many things that were broken, and many things that we broke on that server. But definitely was fun, and it was. I mean, at the moment we didn't know, but it was just the tip of the iceberg onto what the kids actually ended up making.
Yeah, it was wild, and we chose Bedrock because we didn't think we knew if we were going to use Java, we'd have to get PCs. We thought maybe with the cross-platform advantage that Bedrock provides, because Bedrock is the version that exists on Xbox and Sony, but the issue there is Microsoft and Sony do not allow users to join private servers. So you can have Minecraft on your Xbox, and you can join servers that Microsoft manages, but you can't join someone's private server, and for good reason. There's safety implications there, and you don't want people preying on young people who wouldn't know any better. So we ended up switching over the summer to Java, making the choice. We knew going into the fall that was where we needed to be, but over the summer we had graduation. What did we do for graduation?
We had that awesome parade at the Liberty Memorial with everything that had just began with the pandemic at the moment. That was the best thing we could do. We had people, all of our graduates spread out in that middle section of the Liberty Memorial and just held up signs and had all of our cars and some car clubs show up for the kids. And I think, it was a really good turnout, and it was the best way we could honor those students who had, taken the time to come every Saturday or to our after school classes. And it was pretty cool.
Yeah, and we had to MINDDRIVE up that parade, right? So we reached out to some car clubs and got some really nice cars to show up. Had some great help to pull that off. And then we did our first live stream event ever. And we're still not pros, so if there are any IT issues tonight, we apologize. As you can tell, I am not born to be a live stream host. It was not what I had envisioned for myself on my 2020 vision board, was learning how to live stream. I didn't know what OBS was 10 months ago. Restream, all this multicasting, all this. What is this, like a foreign language? Damon was over there doing it all. He wasn't telling nobody about what was going on.
Hey. Well, nobody asked.
We had no idea what we were going to have to try and pull off. And so we get started in Minecraft, where we get towards the end of the summer, really. And I think all of us thought we had planned on going back in person. Over the summer, the cases were going down. People were getting, kind of tired of the restrictions. And I know from the schools that we work with that the plan was everybody was kind of preparing themselves to be in person. The spring was really hard. Virtual learning was really tough, not just on the students, and it was really hard on them, and on the families, but on the schools and the teachers and the administrators. And I think there was a desire to want to not have to try and figure that out again. And then the cases started to skyrocket in July. And late July, one by one, like dominoes, all the schools decide they're going back. They're going to have to start virtual, 100% virtual. And we had to make another quick pivot and sort of recreate what it is we do. So let's talk about Minecraft for a second. What does it mean to you, Damon, before the pandemic, what was MINDDRIVE to you? What did we do?
Well, for me, MINDDRIVE has always been a home. I was just a place I could come and do cool stuff and learn new things, and for free. That's the biggest part that really stuck out for me because, I couldn't afford to go to like a private welding class or something like that. So, you know, I was always like, I used to stay like an hour or two late just to hang out or, work on something else.
Watch YouTube videos.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, no, I mean, and that was but it was hands on, right?
Yeah.
It was a lot of people in the same space and building stuff with our hands. But Brittany, what did you think when I came to you with this crazy harebrained scheme to try and redo what MINDDRIVE is in Minecraft?
Honestly, like, for weeks, we had like conversations about like what can we do, like you mentioned, in the KCTV5 video, like you can't teach welding over Zoom. That's just not possible. So like when you came up to me and said, let's do this Minecraft thing, I was like, what? First of all, I had not played Minecraft in a way that, I thought could be, what we do here. But now with everything that the kids have made and, all this stuff that we've been able to create and replicate in regards to how we do things, project-based learning, I think that it's wild. Yeah. Caleb is watching on YouTube.
Yeah, it helps when you unmute your mic there. Just found out my mic was muted, so that's always helpful. I'm trying to manage the feedback. So anyways, I was saying shout out to everybody who's watching on Facebook. Kent, Crockett, what's up, man? Shout out to you. Oscar, Kathy, April, my mom, Tara, thanks for checking it out. We were just recapping this whole Minecraft thing and how we got started, and I was explaining that Minecraft is a robust creation platform. It's a sandbox game, and what that means is there's no real specific way you have to play this game. It's kind of, you can play it however you want. There is an end, kind of, but even after you beat the final dragon, you can still play on. So within the game, though, because it was built on Java code, it's open source, and you can create things, and people create plugins that manipulate the way the game plays. And there's this function inside the game called redstone, which the simplest way of thinking about redstone is it's like electricity, right? That's probably the simplest way of putting it, but it's not, doesn't really describe it. To me, it's like virtual binary code, which allows us to create unique machines. And I think when we started, at least for me, when we started this thing, we were trying to recreate some of the projects that we're used to, cars and drones and things that we're, battle bots, things that we're used to building, and we kind of know what they're supposed to look like. And I think we had to get to grips real quick, or at least I did, with there's things you can do in Minecraft and there's things you can't, right? And let's just stay true to what this is, because there is a lot you can do. And so that leads us to our next video, and we're going to talk, this video is going to introduce you to our Minecraft build team, the Team Black and Team Purple. And through everything that we did when we started this thing and all the numbers of people who've been in our server, we ended up with 2 dedicated Minecraft build teams that will become the foundation for our esports program. And Minecraft is something that will live on for us beyond the pandemic, which I think is very important and powerful, to find something through this whole thing that becomes something new and can benefit what it is we do. Because it is project-based experiential learning, which is what we are and who we are. So our Team Black, Team Purple, it's going to introduce you to those students. Great group of kids. We live stream with them every night. They're so much fun. They're so amazing, and we're gonna introduce you to them through this video we've put together, and then afterwards we'll talk about and hopefully maybe have a few of them on as guests and discuss some of the things they built. I wanted to ask Bryson, and Bryson, if you're listening, how many buildings, how many structures have been built in that server? I'd like to know how many structures have been built in that entire server. He's gonna freak. His head's probably smoking right now. All right, let's check this video out.
Did you ever think you'd be on a Minecraft build team?
Nope.
No audio.
Us, no audio.
Oh, wait. Oh no, that was on my end. My bad.
So this is the city district that you're seeing now in the video. Everything that you've seen in this video was built by students. I think that's a replica of the Westlake Auto building. We're coming down, there's a train depot over here. Replica model trains, not intended to actually be mobile, just look cool. I'll have to ask the students what that structure is, but I know that's City Hall, and then that's a clock tower. Hours and countless hours kids put in on this project, even outside of when we normally meet. This is their neighborhood, some of the homes they built. Christian and his apartment complex. And then this thing here, these are arenas that we use for arcade games, and just the numbers of arenas that we're building, the scale of these arenas. You're going to see a clip where you're going to see in a second where we go down inside the arena just to get an idea of how big they are, but just one after another after another. And you can do things like this because of the fact that there's code involved and there's plugins involved that allow you to copy and paste things so you don't have to build these massive structures block by block. But it's still a huge undertaking that requires time and just the architecture. I mean, who came? I can't even figure out how they came up with that design. And this is our new team, Purple. This is what they built. We let them loose in a survival world, and that's unique because you don't have all the tools at your disposal. You kind of have to mine for everything. What has been your favorite build project so far in the server?
My favorite build project was the Moon House. The Moon House was my favorite.
First thing that comes to mind is Ragnarok, because we spent months building this. It's just incredible to see what a team that 11 months ago didn't know this would happen. This just shows, even in the darkest time, it means to me that even in the darkest times, people can create beautiful things.
I'd probably have to say it's a tie between the Citadel project and Reganon.
What projects are you currently working on?
Really just the city district and whatever anyone else needs help with at the moment.
What project has been your favorite build so far?
The newest one I've done, which I've been slowly redoing over time, is the stronghold over there, giant castle.
Did you ever think you'd be on a Minecraft build team?
No, not at all. This was the least of my expectations when this pandemic hit.
It's not working. Let me get my shovel out. Okay. Does that work? I just fell.
For our team, and the different colors of the thread that we have changed gives it a look that looks like it's drilling into the screw, drills into the ground, but that's not.
The axle is locked and fixed to the backside of the tire. As you can see here, it will rotate the wheel as one unit.
We used our standard 2-tick delay animation system using the clone command. Halfway through, we set up a command block that sets the redstone block back to stone, and then at the end we have it set it back to redstone block so that we can have a infinite wheel rotation animation.
Ready?
Yes.
Hello,
Action.
this is MINDDRIVE Team Purple. I'm Adonis, and I'm joined here by Stella and Abby.
Hello. I will be talking about the basic steps of making this very colorful and happy wheel, which was first we made the design, then we made different ones of the wheel so we could make it animated, and then we made the command blocks.
And we had repeaters, making it to where it's a chain of like going from one to another, and so it makes it look like an animation going in a counterclockwise circle.
Basically, what we had, and the design is pretty much just like a bigger circle and then a smaller circle, and then we decided to make it colorful because it represents happiness, so that's why we made a smile.
Yeah, also our initial thought was like the color wheel, and I'll press the button.
Yeah.
So this is MINDDRIVE Team Purple signing off.
Bye.
Yeah. What have you liked so far about it?
I probably everything. Most likely.
What's your favorite build so far? Or something that you're working on, so like right
now? My favorite build so far was probably helping on this treehouse and helping Abby expand onto her room, because I made like the expand onto her room and this patio. So yeah, and then I also expanded onto my room.
What do you miss being able to do since the pandemic started?
Playing with my friends, we used to play every day. I really miss them a lot.
Yeah,
like
right on.
A lot.
What has been your favorite build so far?
The one that we're filming at. I really enjoyed making all of these. To be honest, the house and the roller coaster was my favorite out of building the Candyland that's behind us.
Did you ever think you'd be on a Minecraft build team?
No, I didn't even know those were a thing.
No, I never ever imagined being on Minecraft build team.
What's your favorite build that you've done?
Probably the one we're at right now, because I've got like a whole roller coaster system and a giant jungle for my cats. I have everything that I need in
Probably either the game modes or Ragnarok. Doing in our streams, playing games on them, like Splig is having a shovel, having a shoot out snowballs, and you're trying to make the other person fall off the map. Something like that.
Man, that takes you back. Seeing all their projects and just the scale and the scope of how big that server got, man. It started with that island, just that little island, and actually, I think Cyrus built the first house on that island, and then there was a roller coaster, and then Bryson and Jonah got involved, and then the scale of the projects just took off to a whole nother level, right? And I think we have Bryson standing by to join us on the broadcast. And again, I apologize if I mess something up as I try to include Bryson in on the call, on the chat, but that's what I'm going to attempt to do now, and we're going to ask him about some of those builds and just get an idea of the scope and the scale of how big that whole world has gotten. So Brittany, if you don't mind taking over for a few minutes, and maybe just talk about some of the builds that you guys remember and kind of how it evolved, and the city district, and then Stella and Abby, and how amazing they are, and them coming on and just taking and just adding a whole new awesome flavor to the whole thing. And I'm going to see if I can get Bryson hooked up with us.
Awesome, yeah. Well, we first started, like, as he said, building a couple houses, building a very simple roller coaster. And then over the course of a month or a couple months, if, I'm not mistaken, Bryson probably knows more about how Ragnarok was made. But, yeah, we made, like, a whole castle and a whole city right in front of it. Then we replicated our MINDDRIVE building, which was awesome. So, when you spawn into the world, you spawn right at MINDDRIVE, right at our home base. And yeah, that.
Bryson joining us now on the call. Bryson, can you hear us? I can hear your bird.
Yes, I can hear you. Hello.
Hey, and huge thanks and shout out to Julian Rolls, man, for all of the stuff going on behind the scenes to set this up for us today. He's running around trying to make sure everything is working right. And man, huge thanks. But Bryson, how you doing?
Pretty good. Yourself?
What was that? Did you see the video?
Yes, I did. I've been watching since it started.
What'd you think?
It's impressive. I've forgot about half the builds we've done. It's just so big. And
it's difficult, man, doing a video like that, because you could spend, you could do an hour documentary on half those builds.
Yeah. Ragnarok and Caesar's builds alone are their own documentaries.
And you've got all that command code. And what's so funny about that command code too is you had to code all of that in Bedrock.
Oh yeah, that wasn't fun.
You didn't even have world edit. You couldn't copy stuff.
Yeah, Ragnarok is the most stock Minecraft build you can get. No plugins, nothing.
Block by block. That's crazy. So I don't know if you heard me earlier, but I wanted to know if you knew how many structures have been built in all of the multiverse in our server. And while you think about that, I'll explain what a multiverse is. So within Minecraft, you saw the structures that were built in that video, and they were not all in the same world, right? So we have what's called a multiverse. So the arenas are in their own world. And a lot. So between the, I don't know, half a dozen worlds we have, how many structures would you guess have been built in that server?
If I had to guess, well over 100, if not close to 200, because there's just each multiverse has its own set of buildings, some of which I don't even know about, and the main world just has too many to count.
So what are we gonna do then? You know, what's the project we're gonna do since we built this huge universe with all these unique structures? What are we gonna do with it?
We're going to turn it into a movie project.
And each character, you know, so each one of the students, you know, the thing about video game culture is everybody's got an avatar, right? And everybody chooses their avatar. Some put a little more thought into it than others, but every character sort of already has built in a backstory. And so a lot of the structures that have been built were designed and built by students to serve as their backstory for their character in the film project. What's one of your favorite recent builds?
Recent. Everything blends together at this point.
Probably Caesar's Island.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I was gonna say Caesar over here on Discord said it's kind of funny that Oz told me to build one thing and then left me in the jungle, and after like 3 months of not checking up on me, he just made a whole village.
Yeah, that's what Caesar does.
He just left him in the jungle for 3 months, Oz.
You know, I think Caesar was the one playing us. We really had to try to get him to join. We didn't know he was this master builder, Minecraft master builder, doing it all with slow internet. That was
Man, yeah, out of everything, his internet, like, it's just crazy to think he was able to build all that and had the patience to, you know?
Yeah, every time I would log on and he would be on, he would have close to around 2,000 to 4,000 ping, which is barely playable.
So, Bryson, real quick, where do you go to school, and what grade are you in?
I go to MCCKC, and I am a junior in high school.
And you go to MCCKC through a share program, or what? How does that work?
I'm homeschooled, but I skipped high school, so I'm a full-time MCCKC student.
And how did you find out about the Minecraft server?
You came up to me and said, "Hey, want to play Minecraft?"
Did I give you a choice?
Probably not. In
no,
hindsight.
You didn't need a choice. It's been incredible. What are those arenas like? Can you explain how that works? They saw a little bit of it in the video. Those arenas are massive. We're playing these arcade games. These arcade games, they didn't exist in Minecraft. We brought them in through the use of plugins. Do you mind explaining how plugins work and how you're able to build those massive structures using a tool like World Edit?
So the plugins we use, I don't know all of them off the top of my head, but the Minigames plugin is basically just a whole new line of code that's added server side. And World Edit is by far one of the best plugins that we have. It allows for any user to take a build and copy it, to create objects, to flip it, rotate it, do dozens of things with it. And to be honest, looking at it now, I don't think half of the world would be possible without World Edit. Because those arenas were built one sliver at a time. We took a sliver of the shape we wanted and copied them side by side in alternating patterns to give us the design we wanted. Yeah,
and it allows you to take on, even big, larger scale projects. You're gonna have to introduce your bird, Bryson.
Actually, that's not my bird. That's the stove. But my bird is Chibi. He is just chilling right now.
And what kind of bird is he?
Cocktail.
As Brittany didn't disappear. She didn't drop off the thing. She's just resetting her camera.
All right.
Now, we had another competition come up that you were a part of. We came to you on a Tuesday or a Wednesday, like 2 weeks ago, about a competition that was taking place over the weekend. What was it that we got into about a week and a half ago?
VRO KC design project using Unreal, for us at least.
And I'm going to show just a real quick clip. I'm not sure if your guys' audio comes through, so I can explain kind of what's happening. I won't let it play too long.
Recording.
But this was a VR design competition that our students entered. It was mainly students from Guadalupe Center High School, including Caesar, Eric, Armando, Ben, and Bryson. huge shout out, and Jonah.
Tell
Let me please not forget Jonah. Huge shout out to these guys because what they did,
Tell us your
what they were
name
able to
and
do,
how long you've been at
was
MINDDRIVE.
redesign the
My name is
ignition
Bryson
lab for
Shields.
Operation
I've been at
Breakthrough in
MINDDRIVE
virtual reality,
for,
so
I
that they
think,
could see,
almost exactly a year.
you know, what our ideas and thoughts were on the build.
Cool.
And I'm not sure if I can make this
Uh-huh.
thing. Yeah, I'm gonna move this video up so
Like
you can
back
see inside.
about
So this is
information,
inside the
along
ignition
with
lab.
some
This is
MINDDRIVE brain,
the entryway.
like backpacks and jacket.
There's probably sound playing. I can't hear the
We
sound, so I
have
apologize.
a
But you're probably listening to Bryson
table
give you a
with
nice
computers
narrated
on it
tour,
for students
and I may
to
have skipped you
design
ahead,
and
so I apologize for
speaker,
that. But
along
these were
with
the
its
VR
VR
booths
setup.
that were a big hit in the
People would be
competition.
able
These
to
were
go, students
dedicated
would be able to go
booths
from the design in their
where
computer
students could design
to
their
being able
VR
to interact
projects
with
and then
it in
see them on
VR.
display.
Oh, any situation? Oh, okay, cool.
I just
Right on.
presentation.
Hey,
And then back in the back, I'm not sure if I can get there. I might have skipped over it.
I feel
We were
if you had the
speaker.
oh, any situation.
Oh, there it is.
Hackathon
There it
racing.
is. Sorry for
We
making
will
it
also
happen. But
have
there's
a
the
autonomous electrical
area that
vehicle
MINDDRIVE
project that will
hopes
look
to
like the mystery
occupy
machine on
in the
Done.
new ignition lab. The
This also has
ignition
two welding
lab
bays for
is the new
the
project
various
between Travis
projects
Kelsey and
that
Operation
will need
Breakthrough.
it.
It's going to be a sort of maker
We have
space for dedicated
we
for
have
high
a
school
rack
students.
for
And
welding glasses
we're hoping to
and
possibly
other safety equipment
expand
you
what
need
we
before
do
welding,
into two
along with a
bays.
shelf for general parts
And we've got a
and
replica
materials.
of the mystery machine in there. We've got an Electrothon car. We've got battle bots and drones. Let me bring it back to the group now. So Bryson was the MVP. Bryson won the Hackathon Award. MINDDRIVE, the team, took third place. But I knew by the look on your face that you were shocked that you were that you won MVP of that tournament. How did that make you feel?
Just completely surprised because I didn't expect to win.
And I can tell everyone how that, why you won that award is because we use a service called Discord. It's just a communications app. It's similar to like a GroupMe or a WhatsApp, but way more robust and dedicated for gamers. And that's where the different teams would go to communicate with each other and share ideas and share technical issues. And Bryson would respond and help other teams throughout the whole competition with their tech issues without even, he would just jump in and help. And he really got their attention, and they were really, really impressed with you. And you should know that. So cheers to you for the work you did. What was that like? Because you literally learned how to design in VR Saturday morning and had that whole space designed by what time in the afternoon?
I think we had a almost finished prototype by our meeting time, which was, I think, 5 or so p.m.
Yeah, 5.
So almost everything was done by 5 p.m. And I've used 3D design programs, but those are CAD programs and not game design and VR design. So it was drinking from a fire hose.
Yeah, it was wild. Was that something you ever thought you'd get into, learning how to use Unreal?
Nope.
Damon, you led that team. What was your impressions of that whole weekend?
Well, it was very interesting because, like, I've worked with Unreal for, I don't know, I picked it up for like 2 seconds to put it down because it was way too complicated for me, and to see like Bryson and the rest of the kids like learn it so quick was kind of amazing.
So we've got our film project. The other thing we've done in the server and what we got coming up in January is what, Bryson? Do you know what competition is right around the corner?
Yes, the NASF Rube Goldberg machine competition.
And what are we going to be doing?
We're going to be making a Rube Goldberg machine in Minecraft.
So in the video that we showed, we showed some of the preseason projects where they animated a wheel and a screw. And the actual competition kicks off in January, and the goal, and these are teams from all over the world, is to build a functioning Rube Goldberg device inside of Minecraft. So that starts in January, and we've got 2 teams: the high school team, Team Black, and the middle school team, Team Purple. Now, Minecraft aside, Bryson, we're gonna let you go, but stick around because we might have you back on in a little while.
All right. Let me know. It was fun.
Okay, so we get into the fall. We've got this after-school Minecraft server we're running. We're doing that, but we've got to switch gears now. We've got to relaunch a day program and engage with students 100% virtually, at least to start with. Some of the schools. We had some schools coming in person, but we'll get to that. It's a separate video. But this next video I'm introducing is going to recap how we met that challenge of recreating MINDDRIVE virtually and reimagining what project-based experiential learning could look like. And so we partner with several high schools in Kansas City where kids get credit for coming to our site when we're not in a pandemic for programming during the day. It's credit earning programming. It's called the Engineering Design Studio. We started with Guadalupe Centers in 2018. 2019, we picked up Crossroads. We added a couple more schools this year, but specifically with Guadalupe Centers and Crossroads, those schools started out the year 100% virtual and still are. And we have 20 students, upwards of 20 students with each school. We had to figure out how to reimagine that whole curriculum and carry it out virtually in Minecraft. So this first video is specifically about that challenge with Guadalupe Centers and Crossroads, and I'll launch that video now.
Did you ever think you'd have a class 100% in Minecraft?
No, I didn't, but I heard about MINDDRIVE from other students, and they said it was like a good class, and so I signed up for it.
No, I actually would have never imagined that.
No. Got me by surprise. First time I realized we were going to be in Minecraft, I was actually pretty nervous because I had no idea how to work it.
No, not at all. This was the least of my expectations when this pandemic hit.
The unique programming we provide partner schools is project-based experiential learning. What differentiates us from other programs is our students work together to solve problems.
A big push for Crossroads is real-world learning. We really believe in having a great balance between traditional education practices such as note-taking and, sitting in class and understanding different points of history, for example, or math, and then being able to take a traditional test to show that knowledge. Because we know that in some careers and colleges and different settings, kids need to know that skill and they need to be able to navigate that reality. But what we also know is it's really important for students to have a real world understanding of just more practical applications of different skills. And so MINDDRIVE helps us provide both.
We're really focused on the real world learning initiative and giving our kids real world learning experience. And I think MINDDRIVE has been offering that to our students the entire time, but now we're honing in on more of what that looks like. So really, to narrow it down, getting our students experience that'll be applicable post-high school, whether that be welding and working towards an industry-recognized credential, or some of those soft skills such as working in a team and just collaborating outside of our school building. I think there's a lot that our students can benefit from with the program. I think as we dive deeper into real-world learning, though, I think there's a lot more we're going to notice we can collaborate on and really work towards together.
And so when we talk about real-world learning and education, you can do projects in the classroom, project-based learning all day long, and it still can be so siloed and detached from the real world and from the community around you. So I think that our partnership with MINDDRIVE is a perfect example of what real-world learning looks like full-fledged.
How does project-based learning and having this class in Minecraft compare to your more traditional classes?
it's funner. Because not in everyday life you can learn gravity and force and pull and whatnot off a roller coaster. Here we could like control it, sort of. So like nobody would ever imagine learning how to measure gravity or whatever it was off the roller coaster in Minecraft.
No, it just doesn't. There's no comparison between them. It's like you're trying to talk about chess while you're playing checkers. It just doesn't make any sense, you know. MINDDRIVE is on a whole different level. There's more of a connection to MINDDRIVE than there is when you're doing normal school or doing online classes in general. You know, MINDDRIVE really gets in your face about everything. They're really like, see, we're not just teaching you how to do something. We're gonna show you how to do it, and then you're gonna do it exactly how we showed you. You know, that's the whole difference between that and normal school.
It's definitely a much better way to interact with each other.
I think it just makes it more fun because we're still learning things. We're learning how to like code and do things with command blocks, and we're still building. So it just makes it more interacting with the students. So it's a lot easier to learn things.
Well, for me, I prefer it because I like doing more projects when I learn rather than like listening to a teacher talk.
We're learning about math, engineering, and design and thinking skills.
Like you guys, MINDDRIVE really your shift and pivot to programming through Minecraft. I think I've popped on to Twitter and Instagram and some late nights and just see you guys playing, and I think there's some valuable skills to be learned there. You know, you guys mentioned scaling Among Us, kind of I don't know what they're called, the maps, I guess, within Minecraft. You know, and then taking a tour around, you know, the Minecraft universe, so to speak, was pretty enlightening. I'm not too familiar with the program itself, but I can tell you that our students are building and creating. And for me, that's really where we hook kids. That's where we get kids engaged in real-world learning and whatever it is next that they want to pursue.
Recently, I was able to see it come to life and see students engage with it. And just the types of skills that they get in person, it's still being transferred just in a digital sense. And again, that same excitement and joy is still happening.
I think one thing that I've noticed with many of our students who've attended MINDDRIVE is just confidence. And they've developed a sense of confidence about themselves. I can think of a few brothers that have gone through your program. And it's just really fun to see them in their element, you know.
Number one, I think it allows students to safely fail. In school, you traditionally learn that failure is bad and it's a terrible thing to fail or to not know something. So I think that when students are involved in opportunities like MINDDRIVE as high school students, it's a safe space for them to fail and not have negative repercussions come from that failure.
We offer so many robust programs at Crossroads Prep, but it's really important that we reach out to partners too to help further elevate what we already offer, and MINDDRIVE does just that.
Really, you know, the project-based learning component of MINDDRIVE, I would say, is really kind of a game changer for our students. They get to get out and experience working in a team on, you know, a project. And the cool part about it is these are real world projects, you know, building an electric car. Currently, I mean, diving into some of the virtual settings and building and coding within some of the programs you guys are using. It's been phenomenal. And I think our students are gaining valuable, not only insight, but also skills that they can use post high school.
Okay, what'd you guys think? We started out this year, man, doing this Minecraft thing. Damon, you came on board. You had played a little bit of Minecraft. So they saw those cannons that were in the video. Just for a quick second, when you talk about them, what did we use those cannons for?
We use them to pretty much find the gravity of the Minecraft world, um, which I didn't think was possible, but we what'd you say?
No, you're good.
But yeah, so we found the science uh formula that calculates gravity from Earth, and we just plugged in uh pretty much like our own like our own observations or like the data from Minecraft, and it worked out.
What about you, Brittany? What did we use the? We had this whole world set up where we had cannons built, and these. And can you explain like how they actually built these cannons? Like what a block cannon is and why that's unique to Minecraft?
Sure. Well, um, it would take a long time to explain everything that, how Minecraft works and stuff, but basically there's certain blocks that can fly and fall in Minecraft. You can place blocks in different ways, but they will stay put. And there's certain blocks that have certain properties, such as like obsidian won't explode, and then the cannons, we built them out of TNT, and if you put water in there, it won't blow up like your cannon. So knowing that, we were able to make a workable cannon that would launch the blocks that actually are able to move and drop, which is like sand, red sand, and some of the concrete powder. So you know kind of like in real life, if you put a piece of, powder or sand, it's gonna launch and fall. So we were able to track the trajectory, and depending on how big and powerful you made your cannon, it would make it either launch really close to you or really far away from you. And I think it was really fun for the kids to see that, science and math can be fun, and you can understand it in different ways rather than just a worksheet.
Yeah, and so Damon, what's like a typical morning like a typical class like, real quick, as Brittany resets her OBS one more time?
Well, honestly, it's most times something new, pretty much every week, right? So
yeah, so like you log on in the morning, students log. What do we use? Like, what do they log on to talk to you? And
most of the time they get on Discord first, and we all join in the same voice chat, and we all log on and try to get everyone on Minecraft at the same time, so then we can start.
And they're usually logging on early, and then we might meet up somewhere. We have the MINDDRIVE building. There's a replica of that in the server. We use that a lot as like a meeting place to talk about what the new projects are. We've got a couple of big projects. One you saw in the film is recreating the game Among Us. So we've rebuilt the map, and now we're going through like line by line what makes this a playable game. How can we solve those issues in Minecraft? For example, in Among Us, there's these security cameras. I've never played this game. This is just what I know, but from being told by people who play the game, there's a security camera room. You're supposed to be able to look at the television and see into the other room. Do I have that right?
Yes.
Well, how do you do that in Minecraft, right? There is no feature like that. So what one of our students came up with, shout out to Ben, was make these observation decks above the room, and then use command blocks and teleport yourself into the It's got a glass floor, so you literally just teleport your character. It looks exactly like a security camera feed would, and then when you're done, it teleports you back out. Brittany, how do command blocks work? Or in just the short version of like what we use command blocks for, I guess.
Well, in that sense, we use them. It's kind of like a library of code in where you input a set of coordinates, and you can tell it to do different stuff. So, like for example, when we built animations, you make it clone whatever it is that you're trying to animate. And whenever we're trying to, we were trying to sort that problem with the observation rooms, you make it teleport your character onto that, observation deck that you made, and you're able to, tell it to put you right there, and then by pressing a button, and then by pressing the button in the observation dock, it will just take you right back onto where you were standing in the arena. So it was pretty nice seeing the kids like having all these innovative ideas to problem solve like game tactics.
Yeah, like use design thinking in a practical way to, like, okay, what can we do? Can we do this? No, that's not going to work. Can we do this? Is this a better solution? No, maybe we ought to try this. So, yeah, that was fun. And then, so what was Christian doing? Did you catch that in the video, Damon? What was Christian doing with us in the server that one day?
Well, we were testing out the VR headset that we got.
Yeah, so we got into VR, right? So, thanks to April out there, I think you're watching. One of her connections, somebody she's done some projects with in the work that she does, is how we got connected with the server host that we use. And he's also into VR gaming big time. And specifically, he has a whole podcast dedicated to VR in Minecraft, which was not something I thought. It was another thing we learn about on a Monday, and by Friday, I'm about to pass out because I got dropped from the sky in Minecraft. Like literally it's crazy how powerful that technology is, and it's coming and it's here, and we're in on that. We're doing that now and learning how to incorporate that into Minecraft as well. But now, real quick, I think it's time to move on. So we've got some other schools we work with. De La Salle is new to us this year for our day program. But De La Salle is unique because that is where MINDDRIVE began. MINDDRIVE began in a classroom at De La Salle Charter School over 10 years ago, and then grew into its own entity. But our history with that school goes all the way back to the very beginning. I know we've got students we know to this day from the very first class. Andrew from the very first class of De La Salle students is still a mentor. And so to be able to partner with them this year is huge. Big, nice way to kind of bring that full circle. And then Cristo Ray has been a longtime partner with us. And they've also engaged with us in the day program. And the other school we worked with, which isn't featured in this video, it'll be a video for another time, is Academy Lafayette. And we're doing an on-site drone program / in-person / virtual with Academy Lafayette. But Cristo Ray started out the year in person, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
And then there was some question, late in the year with maybe 3 weeks to go, they switched back to all virtual, and there was so we had the students coming to our site one day a week, right? Because it was in person, but it was like a hybrid, right? It was like they only had MINDDRIVE one day a week. Same with De La Salle. We started actually with De La Salle virtual, and then we thought we might be able to better serve the students by switching to in person. That's another story, but they come basically one day a week. They can choose between Monday or Wednesday. And so we've got those schools still bringing students to us into our space and learning how to weld and getting ready to build an electric car. But there was some concern when Cristo Ray went back to 100% virtual that might end. And we started looking at what were some of the ideas we had come up with in case we had to go 100% virtual. Anybody remember? We spent a whole day taking them apart in the
We were like, we got to get more laptops. We got to drop them off to them. We got to do something, because those kids, every time they came, they were always eager to do something.
Yeah.
So it was a little concerning for sure.
Yeah, and I was just convinced that we would need to switch, and so we started taking apart RC cars. Remember that, David?
Oh yeah,
we had all those RC. We thought maybe we could. And then Brittany decides, well, what let's ask them. Maybe they can still come. And she her and Damon reached out to all the students, and lo and behold, all of them said that they could make it here on their own, which was the choice they were given by their school. And so this next video is gonna speak to that project with De La Salle and Cristo Ray and the work that we're doing with them, and how we're kind of doing that now in this in this new reality. I gotta make sure I click on the right one here. Yeah, okay. Here we go.
The partnership between MINDDRIVE and De La Salle predates me, and it's a really special thing because my understanding is MINDDRIVE actually began in this building. And what I'm really excited about is that this is the first year in a while that we've been able to bring it back to this building for our students. And that came through the relationship of working with Oz in recent years and MINDDRIVE and other places and seeing the high quality work that they've done and what it means for students.
First time I actually really became at least more aware of it was going to the auto show, and MINDDRIVE had a booth at the auto show, and there sure enough are two of our students who had been working on the Carmen Gia, and that was just kind of neat to see. Like, first of all, you don't expect to see students outside of the school building because that's totally taboo, but to see students outside of our normal context was really, really cool to see them working on a project like this, and I kind of followed MINDDRIVE since then. And then we established a partnership as a work study sponsor, and now with our current program in the Intro to Engineering Design program with the, I guess we have 8 or 9 students now in an after-school program working on metal fabrication for the Electrathon vehicles is pretty cool. How it's evolved from just an after-school program into a really more robust programmatic effort here in the last couple of years.
How do you compare MINDDRIVE to other classes that you have to take?
It's not boring, it's like actually like hands-on, not like other classes.
In a big way, the hands-on learning, like actually doing the stuff rather than just having someone explain it and not having to you do anything. I feel I learn better that way.
This is far beyond original school because we're actually, in normal school, it's us sitting down at a desk writing down something and learning something from a teacher that's going too slow or too fast. But in MINDDRIVE, you guys are staying on pace so we can learn it. We're doing things that will help us out in the future, and it's a real life changer for us.
The school goals, we want to make sure we build robust programs that give students access to the industry, professional skills that they need for the modern workplace. Every school probably has an answer like that. Personally, I have seen what MINDDRIVE does with kids. I've seen the way that MINDDRIVE helps students find themselves and realize that they had things within themselves that they never knew before. Students who did not have confidence come out with confidence. Students who didn't think they were creative realize their own internal creativity. Students who thought they didn't want to learn technology and build things with their hands come out loving it and feeling proud of the work they do. And I look at it and it's the experience that I want for my own kids. It's the experience that I wish I had when I was a student, to be able to be creative and to not have some sort of preset pathway of every step along the way, but instead to see a problem, experiment, get creative, solve the problem in ways that maybe nobody imagined from the beginning. So it's professionally, it's absolutely what we want for our students. It's the workplace skills they need. It's both the technical skills and it's the thinking skills. And then just personally, it's inspiring to see what our students do, and it's what I wish I had as a kid. It's what I want for my own daughters.
Yeah, we're getting ready to build an electric car. Right now, we finished like the base around right now, and personally, what I learned is like how to do tubing right now. So, you know, we can only go up from there.
Are you excited about the opportunity to build an electric car?
Yes, I'm really excited. It's been first time building anything that to that level, and yeah, I'm pretty excited.
Actually, yes, I am really excited because modern cars, they're making a lot of changes. Because the things we were talking about here in MINDDRIVE is like, it sounds really fun, building a car, racing it, actually having to test drive it and everything. And then having it to be canceled due to the COVID, it was like an emotional roller coaster because at first I was really excited, but then hearing these news about things changing, yeah, it was like you were really worried about not being able to come or not.
To have a project-based environment where kids can learn and practice design-based thinking and to think and plan and then fail and then understand what they did wrong and then continue that cycle. Those are some things that we're not always able to offer inside the building because of our space limitations. So any opportunity that we can get students over to MINDDRIVE because of the space, because of the expertise, and then the hands-on experience is wonderful. Seeing our two young ladies welding an electrothon car, as much as I would love them in the building that last hour of the day and in some of our more traditional programming, nothing makes me happier than being able to see them throw down the welding mask and shout out fire in the hole and start welding away because they're learning critical skills even though they may not be part of our traditional programming during the day.
And what all have you learned how to do so far?
I learned how to use a saw and welding.
What have you learned how to do so far?
The welding, I learned parts of a car. I learned what some tools are used for. I like it. It's fun because with different materials, you have to time it and you have to make sure you don't mess it up and stuff.
We started out virtually. We found out we were able to meet in person. What did you think when you found out and you heard that we were going to be able to meet in person?
I was happy about it because I'm better at learning in person and doing hands-on things, so it's easier.
It gives me a chance to learn a new skill set, and it gives me a chance to probably extend my knowledge on race cars and stuff.
We're building a car from scratch, something bigger than what's they called, the little race cars.
So far, I have managed to learn the basics of welding. I should be able to say how to turn on and how to operate it. And we have begun the building process of a car, hopefully.
And we're back. How impressed were you, Brittany, with the students from Cristo Rey and De La Salle, and how impressed were you with them this first semester?
Honestly, I mean, knowing that, they had been at home for a couple months, maybe without any real interaction with other people, it was really nice to see them come together. And I think, it really shows that MINDDRIVE just, it brings people together, and there's nothing else like it. We have our little group from De La Salle with Raya, Rashad, and James, and that's probably the most odd group that I would ever think would, hang out and be so close and just have this whole just ability to work together. And the girls from Cristo Rey, we have two groups, one of all senior boys and then two freshman girls, and it was really nice seeing the girls kind of beat the guys this year. They're definitely doing awesome in welding and all of the stuff that we kind of had them do, and so it was really nice having some students come in person and having that interaction with them.
My bad. Sorry about that. Got to unmute myself. How much do you think it means to them, Damon, to be able to come still be able to come and do MINDDRIVE.
You are not.
Now you're muted.
You're muted, sir. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There you are.
Yeah, you hear me?
I can hear you now, loud and clear.
Yeah, so it means a lot to him for sure. I mean, you could hear in the video, I think it was Adriana, she said that or she was afraid that we might not have been able to come back. You know, like I feel like they look forward to coming to our class. So
Brittany's chair made an introduction.
It's time for a new chair.
Man, if anybody's watching, has a spare any office furniture they're not using, 2615, just drop it by.
they got a better chair than us. They're probably not gonna give it away.
Use some new chairs.
Well, we've been at this for a while now tonight, but what's something that you'll take away from this first semester, this year, really, like this whole? I don't know. For me, I feel like I need to get some distance from it before I can really evaluate. Did I think we did everything that we could do? I mean, at the end of the day, that's the goal. It's just to honor this place and what this means to people, and do right by that, and push it every single day to try and make sure that we're not leaving no stone unturned, and checking to see that we've done every single thing we possibly can to not just, because the thing about you can have unique projects. It takes more than that, right? You've got to be able to engage people, and you've got to be able to do it in a way in which it means something, in which it has value, real value. And I think that's why Minecraft was the way for us to go, because if we're going to do something, it's got to be about something. There's got to be some competition. There's got to be a reason to do it when you don't, when you're not really feeling it that day, or you're tired, or it gets hard. There's got to be something else pushing you to want to overcome and learn how to fail and fail repeatedly until we still don't have our audio issues quite sorted out yet, but we're getting there.
Yeah.
What about you guys? What will you take away from this crazy year?
For me, it's just the fact that anything can and will happen. Like, ain't that Murphy's Law?
Man.
Like, cause I mean, no matter how many setbacks we have, or like things that just don't go right for us, I feel like if like we just persevere, try to get through it, it'll be all right in the end. So it's giving me a lot more optimism.
It's weird like that, right? Because like that was one thing with the pandemic. It's like every day, man, you show up, you expect whatever was true yesterday to possibly be changed and different today, and whatever we thought we were going to be doing when we went home the night before could be completely different. Yeah, shout out to the comments. MINDDRIVE is definitely family. So that leads us to the elephant in the room. Well, sort of. Is what are we going to do in 2021, and when are we going to get back to building cars and drones and robots and making films and doing the things that we have been doing for years and are known for? And I know that's on the top of everyone's mind, and parents reach out to me constantly wondering when we're going to be back at it again. And we've started a few things. We've got a few projects in the works, but we've just got to be safe. We've got to be safe. So this next video is speaking to that. It's a trailer for what's to come in 2021. So check this out.
All right, guys, welcome back. So long since I've seen you all, but I think it's time to get started on some fun stuff. What do you guys think?
Well, I guess the cat's out of the bag now. We're planning on a return to programming in January. We've got some dates set. January 11th, we're planning to start back, and it could be small numbers to get started. Saturday program might look different as we try and get back to doing what we want to do. We may have to juggle some things around, move some things around, but we've got some ideas brewing. But that's the plan, to start. Try and start back in some shape or another come January 11th. And if we have to, again, safety is paramount. It's number one. We will get back to doing what we do. It will happen, and hopefully that it will be sooner than later. What about you guys? Anything else you guys want to touch on? We've got one final video to play for the night.
No. I'm just excited to have everybody back. And Damon, you're still muted, just so you know.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, I mean, it was really nice. Huge thanks to everybody who came by and helped us on the film for tonight. But I could see everybody was eager to come back, and I can't wait to have stuff for you guys to do here in January. I think we're all tired of being at home, and I think that it'll be nice to see you all again.
Yeah, for sure. I miss all of my my buddies I was in MINDDRIVE with, for sure. I can't wait to do stuff like film, you guys again. So
this last thing of the night isn't really about MINDDRIVE. It's from MINDDRIVE. It's from us to healthcare workers mainly, but those in the direct path of the coronavirus, frontline workers, people who've been right in harm's way, especially the healthcare workers out there, doing what they need to do, right, to see this thing through. This is from us to you.
There have been people on the front line of this pandemic risking their lives, putting themselves at risk to help those that are sick. And everything from people delivering food to homes to the nurses and doctors who have been working tirelessly in environments where they see patients that they know they're going to lose. It's taken a tremendous emotional toll on those people as well as a physical toll, and they're losing colleagues. There aren't words to adequately express my gratitude for those people that are literally day in, day out, subjecting themselves to health risks to take care of those that are sick.
Well, to all doctors and nurses and workers out there, I'd say thank you for keep going out there and being strong and doing what has to be done for the rest of us who can't necessarily do that.
Well, obviously, many thanks to what they are doing. Most of us are sitting at home. They are out working tirelessly, sometimes 24/7, doing everything they can while we're sitting at home. And maybe things will turn around and they'll have a chance to rest, and we'll be able to do something in return. Because, that's something you can't really pay back in full.
We thank you for your
continued effort and your bravery for taking this on.
Message I would like to send to all the frontline workers, for example, nurses, doctors, is just a huge thank you, personally, from the bottom of my heart. I can't imagine in times like this, like having to go out and leave your own family to help different families. My host mom in Colombia was actually a doctor, and I personally saw how she risked her life every day just to help other people, and it's the most selfless act ever, and it's something that I can appreciate so much, so thank you.
My message to the healthcare providers is you have my undying respect for going in under very difficult circumstances, working your tail off and exposing yourself as well as those in your family or those that you live with to the possibility of being contagious.
I tell you what, you know, I couldn't say any more at a time like this than I say during regular times. You know, seeing you know, first responders, people that work in emergency rooms, and they've always had my utmost respect because they don't get nights and weekends off. When they're at work, they are absolutely worried about everything they come in contact with being safe, not their own safety.
I would just say thank you for doing, continuing to do your job, and to do the job that everyone else is really reliant on you for.
Also, God bless the first responders that are out there every day dealing with this outbreak. You're all heroes to us.
So my message to the frontline and essential workers, and it's been said before, but it's thank you. I truly appreciate the fact that you all get up each and every day and do what needs to be done. And that is a major feat in the midst of this pandemic. Major. I don't know if I could do that. So I'm thankful that I'm just a little online teacher. Thank you. Because I don't know that I could really muster up the courage to walk in the middle of the storm. And that's what they do each and every day. Thank you. I mean, it seems so simple, but thank you.
Thank you. That'd be just the craziest, most hectic work environment. They're like getting exposed to it like every day. They have to like make that decision, like bring it back to their families too. But yeah, it's a really important service.
Yeah, I'm really thankful for those people who are willing to do that.
Yeah, thank you to all the healthcare workers and nurses and doctors.
Definitely a huge thank you, for your guys' patience, having to deal with all the extra just precautions. I've had to visit my dad in the hospital during this, and I just see firsthand like how difficult everything is just for you guys to do your job. So it's appreciated. Thank you.
You've done an amazing job. It's probably around time to take a break and enjoy relaxing, because you do need to relax sometimes. So thank you, and enjoy your vacation.
Yeah, I just want to extend my heartfelt thanks and gratitude for all the sacrifices they've made and continue to make, and not just medical personnel, but critical workers across various industries, whether it be retail, delivery, public safety, or any of those things. It's just it's a hard job, and we've kind of realized the people that we need to do their jobs for society to function, and we cannot take them for granted, and we should really try to pay it forward how we can.
I just want to say thank you to all the frontline workers. I have friends and family that are working on the front lines, those kind of things, and they kind of talk about the extra added precautions and kind of the little bit more difficult things to do, like their job and things like that. So it's just it's a little bit of a hassle, but you're doing a great job, and just keep it up, and thank you again for working for all of us.
We're just so grateful for healthcare workers, for all the essential workers, for the teachers, retail workers, everyone who's really sacrificed a lot to help keep things going, despite the fact that we're experiencing this global pandemic. And that sacrifice is not lost on us. And just so much gratitude to help ensure that services that are essential are still up and running, which is just a lot of gratitude, because things would be a lot more difficult and almost impossible. Some of the things that we take for granted would not be in place if it wasn't for your efforts.
Stay healthy and stay safe. There are so many folks who haven't had that opportunity, not only like educators, but healthcare workers, and so many folks who are going out and like are literally on the front line. And so I'm just full of so much like gratitude, and to say thank you isn't enough.
Que le echen ganas, porque ahí vamos poquito a poco. Me va a tomar tiempo, tomó casi todo un año para llegar ahí, pero ahí vamos poquito a poco. A lo mejor va a tardar más o menos de lo que pensemos, pero al fin vamos a llegar todos a un lugar donde no hay nada y pues ya podemos regresar a la normalidad y pues regresar a nuestras vidas normales que teníamos, porque esta normalidad que tenemos ahorita no es algo que nos gusta a todos, es atrocidad, una atrocidad.
I mean, the simple message is thank you. We wouldn't be where we're at now without scientists. I mean, the vaccine was just released this week in Kansas City. And then, to nurses really laying it on the line. I can't imagine what they see each and every day, but I've heard the stories and they're devastating and inspiring and the same. So really a huge thank you to everyone, our teachers that are teaching both virtually and in person. Never in a million years did we think as educators we would have to face a pandemic.
Pues que definitivamente tengan mucho cuidado con esto, porque no es algo que la verdad hemos pasado por antes, es algo más nuevo y pues corren mucho en el riesgo de que lo están haciendo así en persona y todo. Y pues sí, los quería agradecer por todo, porque están poniendo sus vidas y su salud en riesgo por todo lo que están haciendo por nosotros, y pues los quería agradecer por eso.
My big is a doctor, so what I would say to them is that I'm thankful to be in the surroundings, and that I'm also sorry that people don't take this epidemic seriously.
I love all of you, and in the best of times, you're amazing people who put yourselves first and put yourself in harm's way many times. And now you have an added component of a possible illness and taking that home to your families.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that all that you do. Keep up the good work, and just to stay safe as they can.
You really just have to sit there and think about they're putting their lives on the line to save someone else. So just saying thank you and keeping yourself away from the virus helps them.
Thank you so much. We wouldn't be able to stay together. We wouldn't be able to stay together as a society with as little as we have over the last 10 months without you. You are the reason this world is going to come out of this. What you have done is not measurable.
What I would say to healthcare workers is thank you a lot for you're risking your life to help other people's lives. It's hard, we get that, because we're also struggling with doing a lot of things, and you guys are probably struggling more with being safer with COVID patients and dealing with all their side effects, and it's different for each person. And just thank you very much for helping out.
Thank you, doctors, nurses, and healthcare people. We are so glad that you have helped us, and you've been a great help to us.
Thank you so much for helping all of those people and for not giving up on them when it was probably really challenging.
Thank you for doing what you do, because without you, I think we would all be dead of COVID.
Thank you for staying here with us and fighting COVID, figuring out a cure, help treating our people and our family members, and all that we love and care for.
They don't have to. They don't have to be out there risking their wellness and protecting others. Trying to stop this from spreading as much as possible. They are, they're real heroes, and they're great. They're doing whatever they can to stop this from continuing on, and I'm so grateful to them. There's no amount of words that I could say to show my gratitude towards them. There's some of the best people out there right now because they're trying to stop a pandemic in this world.
I'm sorry. I'm just really, really sorry. I wish that I could do more. I wish I knew what it was I could do to make this burden less. But thank you. Thank you for standing in the way, for choosing to stand in the way. Thank you so much, and may peace be upon you and your family.
Mil gracias y respeto a los trabajadores de salud porque se exponen a sí mismos y a sus familias en un peligro que nosotros no entendemos en verdad. Su dedicación y trabajo incansable para mantener a nuestras comunidades saludables nunca podrá ser pagado. Gracias.